Why are we setting ourselves up? What do I gotta do? Well, you're gonna find out in a second. Oh!
Okay.
So guys, the moment of all moments, the sad of all saddest of news is of my Tsx. So yeah, you know, I deal with a lot of issues, a lot of situations. I go through a lot of different weird stuff. And this is kind of like another occasion of something weird. In the previous videos, which we're gonna do a snippet right here. Roll it, play it. Within like 3-4 pumps, automatically it started showing yellow. As you know, that's no good, meaning head gasket or a warped head, which I'm kind of leaning towards a warped head. This video is really about my theory onto why I need to go through this whole situation again and pull my motor out. I could take my head off with it in the car, but given I want to do a lot of stuff myself, messing with timing and space, I feel like I'd be fighting that a lot more than how quick I could pull it out the car. Because you guys know I've done it plenty of times. It's like riding a bike. I could pull this out probably in an hour, hour and a half if I really wanted to, like if I was really rushing, but usually I'm just kind of watching videos, chilling, drinking a beer or something, you know, just having a good time. And making videos, so while I'm recording and doing this and that, trying to set up the videos, everything takes longer. This video is really just my theory as to why everything happened. I just want to start off saying this video is not blaming anybody or saying anyone's at fault except myself, really. I always blame myself because I feel like I overlook a bit of issues, possibly. I mean, there was nothing definite that was going on that like was screaming head gasket or warped head, because I mean, we just got rebuilt, the motors was strong, good compression, it was feeling good, except for that time with the whole oil stuff, but you know, that was fixed. The motor was feeling even better, and we just made 243 on the dyno. It was feeling solid. The car feels mechanically good, but we have this ongoing issue that's been happening for months. It didn't just happen. Like, this has been something that's been building up, and I feel like it just started getting worse, especially after like the dyno. We are pushing more. Dynos are rough. They probably just like pushed it further and enhanced the problem, but like this is months prior to when the situation started happening. So I just want to kind of like clarify that before anything. There's no one to blame but myself, honestly. We started off like randomly one day, the temp gauge just started going up. Pull over, burp the system, do all that, and leg it home. I get home and I set up the funnel, I bleed the system again, do all that, you know, some air's in it, take some fluid, and we're good. We're good for another like couple weeks, a month, or whatever it is. Like, this is like long periods in between. I had to move from there. That was kind of getting uncomfortable and my neck was hurting. Like I was saying, it was periods in between where things started happening. The overheating issues just started coming randomly. So I had a little leak. We squared that away because I did the compression test inside the radiator and instantly showed me what was good. And that was fine. Rebled the system, did all that. Another week goes by, then it happens again. The temp gauge starts going up. I have to like pull over, pop the cap, you know, bleed, burp the system. I ride out for a little bit, then, you know, temp gauge starts going up again, then I have to do it again, release pressure, and like, just so I can leg it, you know, to where I'm going. It's been an ongoing problem for like months. I started changing out parts. I ended up getting a brand new OEM thermostat. Shout out to my boy Melvin for hooking me up. OEM thermostat, new upper and lower hoses, OEM. I got a CSF radiator, OEM manufacturer replacement. New radiator cap, new reservoir cap, water pump is new with the rebuild, head gasket was new again when we had to split it. Throughout this whole process and whatnot, I ended up hooking up my Honda data to my car and I started just reading it off my phone. And I believe I got some like screen recordings from way before this first kind of started happening. Knowing now, that's actually kind of high. And at the time, honestly, I kind of overlooked that. I was thinking that's pretty normal for whatever reason. I didn't do my due diligence on research and making sure like what is the proper number, like what is it for the TSXs with K24A2. Yeah, honestly, that's kind of like my bad. It's like everything, you know, learning experience, kind of wake up calls to be more on top of my shit, be more precise, and do things super proper, thoroughly, so I can present it to you guys properly. Like, not give you bullshit information, all that stuff. I want to show you the real, the good, the bad situation I go through so you can learn from it as well. That's kind of what my channel is about. And we just all grow together, motivate one another, all that fun stuff. In reality, normal operating temperatures are like 185 to like 195, maybe 205 for the TSX or K24A2. Did the rebuild and everything. I got a lot of new components and stuff, but I never really touched my radiator, the sensors, none of that, the fans, all that stuff, because, you know, I thought, you know, before it was working, I thought, you know, but then it obviously sat for months. Yeah, a lot of this stuff sat for months, so things could have just got messed up, corroded, no good in general. So I guess I kind of didn't really take that fully into account, and in the end it's kind of screwing me over. I never replaced any of my coolant stuff, and I kind of was just driving around. The car, the engine, or whatever, it felt fine. I never had any indications, check engine lights, of any sensors or faulties or like temperatures too high. Just a gauge sometimes would, you know, happen, or I had like the coolant splatters, if you guys see from all the clips. Coolant splatters would randomly happen because my overflow tank would overflow and not go back into the radiator. And even after replacing the thermostat, the hoses, and radiator, it was still happening. It was the same situation, but my thermostat was actually going bad. It was getting like stuck open or closed or whatever, but then after that it was fine. I kept bleeding it, kept taking things out, kept trying to mess with it, drive it around to see what's going on. I was like changing parts, I was going through the steps, the motions as, you know, you would normally do. Compression tests of like the radiator, trying to find the leaks. Got one from O'Reilly's and I thought it was kind of a dud. I would like pump it up to like 12 or 15 PSI, and then over like 5 minutes it would go down like 3 or 4, and I thought, you know, it's a rental tool, so maybe it's kind of dud. Try to get one from Harbor Freight. That didn't work because all the adapters didn't work. Then, which led me to get a combustion tester from Harbor Freight. I did it, and that kind of just gave me my answer of it being like the head gasket or, you know, the warped head. In my theory, I think it's a warped head because I feel like for months I was riding around at 200 coolant temperatures for like the longest, thinking that's normal, which it really isn't. I wasn't getting any like check engine lights, no warnings that this is wrong, except for that number that I overlooked on Honda. I went through the motions, checked for the leaks, you know, tightened things down, swapped some parts, and after I did the whole radiator, thermostat, hoses, the temperatures got a little bit better, but not fully. It was overheating, still bursting out of like the reservoir right here because overflow was getting too overflown. I never changed out the coolant temperature sensors, so I ended up doing that. After I changed out the sensor, we went for a ride for like an hour and a half. The gauge never went up, didn't skip a beat. The car was feeling fine. I was hooked up to my Honda. The temperature was reading like 185, 194, and that kind of right there alerted me as to potentially what happened. I feel like that kind of was throwing off the readings, but making it seem like it's all right, but not like throwing it off to where it's showing that it's bad or something. Like, I don't know, kind of confusing as to why like there was no signs of it being something definitely bad. I go through all the steps, I try to do my, you know, due diligence with all that. Driving around that long, and then doing the dyno tunes, and then recently doing the dyno tune, we have an aluminum head, it just gets hot, and it doesn't take that much for it to get warped. Over time, that many heat cycles and that temperature may have caused the head to warp. Over time, it became more and more of a problem, and it started getting worse. It started happening way more frequently and way more times in one period. And that's when it really started becoming more concerning, because even after replacing the known parts and having already new parts, still happening. And that's what led me to do the whole combustion test and all that. I'm not dealing with like smoking really. The only weird issue that started happening recently, I think maybe after the retune, at cold starts or startups, I have this like slight misfire for like 1 to 4 seconds. Like the last crank, it kind of like sputters up and like misfires for like a couple seconds, then it's completely fine. I'm not saying the tune is what's bad, because the car feels great and it made what it did, but I feel like dyno tunes are rough and dyno pulls are hard on the car, and I had this problem for months ongoing. I've been chasing for a while, the car felt great, but being on the dyno, it kind of pushed it. I went from 217 to 243. It's a lot, you know? And maybe very well the head gasket could have popped a little bit because I was pushing it so hard, dealing with all these heat cycles and temperatures and overheating issues. It could be that, or it could be the warped head, which either or, we're gonna go through the proper steps and make sure we do things proper, come back better. Even after the tune, on my way to Barry's, 20 minutes right before his house, temperature gauge started going up again. But the whole ride beforehand, like 3 hours, 2 hours to kiss me and stuff, completely fine. And on the dyno, completely fine. But then afterwards, it started happening again. So it just over time kept building up, kept getting worse, kept having more frequently, even after changing out stuff. I'm not blaming anybody, it's not anyone's fault, but I feel like my own for not, you know, I guess peeping things or catching things beforehand or feeling alerted. Doing my research to triple, quadruple check things, I guess, for certain stuff. Because like, I feel like I do pretty good with a lot of things. I do have a lot of things that go on in my mind and things that I'm trying to do and fit in, and being second shift, time running out real quick. Like right now it is 1:35 and I gotta leave to work at like 2:15. I try to fit in as much as possible, doing posts, promoting new videos, uploads, making these videos, updates, and trying to be more consistent and more on the time frame that it's happening, you know. I just wanted to update you guys in this video, just kind of say what's going on. What I'm saying is this motor has to come out. I know I could take the head off with it all in the car, but I feel like it would take me a lot longer fighting with the space, messing with timing and shit like that with it in the car than me pulling it out the car and then doing it. Doing all that would be a lot quicker than messing it within here. I know a lot of you guys, oh, you don't have to do all that, but regardless, I had to flush all this coolant and all the fluids or whatever, so it really ain't shit, man. It really isn't shit. I can make it a job to where I just swap motors. Just doing swaps. It would be a no-brainer to me. This is my soda now, guys. I rarely drink soda, more like sparkling water kind of stuff. Bubbly, you know. It'd be nice if y'all sponsored me. I like your stuff, especially the caffeinated, because I'm trying to have healthy caffeinated beverages to keep me going on a second shift grind. But, anywho, get back to the video. Got my car all the way pushed back. We got all this space right here. And I'm just setting myself up for maybe tomorrow I'll start draining the fluids, taking off my whole harness, and all that fun stuff. Getting things set up to pull this puppy out again. And while I'm doing all that, I need your ideas because sometimes my mind be racing, I have too many things going on. I overlook some stuff, or I think about it later on, or you guys tell me later on, I'm like, damn, maybe I should have done that or something. Please let me know in the comments what you think I should do while the motor's out, I have all this room, or shit like that. Yeah, maybe I could repaint my valve cover. Let me know what color you guys think I should go with. What theme valve cover, and then maybe eventually like calipers and stuff like that. What theme should I go with? Like even maybe the strut bar right here, I could paint it a different color. Cause this white that turned into a dirty eggshell burntness is disgusting. Like it is disgusting. I'm gonna try to do it more properly. So let me know what color you guys think I should go with. I'm really digging maybe like a lime-ish kind of green to bounce it off the white. I feel like it will really, you know, maybe even a blue, because I miss the blue a lot, so maybe even that. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think. I don't want anything like too tacky, but I want it to look good. It is sad that I have to do all this again. I got to enjoy the car for a little bit. We did a lot of videos and improvements and just had fun. I feel like this is gonna give me the extra chance to maybe do things a little bit better, step my shit up, step my work up, step up my quality, my performance, and my knowledge, making sure I'm to the T. You guys know Barry does porting. He ports heads very, very well, like really well. Barry's the fam, and we were talking, maybe he could port the head. And you know, we pushed a little bit more and have a little bit more fun. Then I was talking to someone else and they mentioned, like if you're porting the head, kind of doesn't make sense to not port your manifold. And either I port this RRC manifold or I buy an RBC and get that ported. Even though porting it and all that is improving it, making it better, but this is brand new OEM that I bought from Heel Toe, and I don't know if I want to do all that to that. So I'm gonna have to think about it. Let me know what you guys think. And to end it off, I just want to thank you guys all for the support, man. We hit 5.3K subscribers. I know it's not a whole lot to a whole lot of people. Some people are like, boop, boop, boop. But we are growing at the pace we are, and I love it, man. You guys rock, dude. Like, the community, the support that we have. Seeing the same names constantly, like, every video, and you guys showing the love every time, bro. You guys are awesome, and I can't thank you enough. You guys make this channel, make us grow, and keep everyone motivated in this loop. And you keep these TSXs thriving, man. Because there isn't a lot of us TSX folks putting out the content. There's a few of us, but I've been doing this since 2018. This is my second one, and I don't plan on stopping. So, you know, it's Rish, TSX gang. We never take a day off. We putting on for the community and popping off. Peace. Peace, y'all. Thanks.
Work around the clock, my engineer getting paid off. Rock like Ace up, like the weed and take off. So high, cannot